Chelsea's tough position, Sally's firm stance. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Tuesday, September 16, 2025. Fans can expect Adam Newman, Mark Grossman, to put Chelsea Lawson, Melissa Claire Egan, in a tough position. Meanwhile, Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, stands her ground with Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Make sure to check out our weekly Y&R spoilers, here. Kyle Abbott's hand forced. Let's start off with Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer. Despite the broken trust between them, Kyle will keep trying to start fresh with Claire Grace Newman, Hayley Erin. Even after Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, defended Kyle, Claire didn't seem totally on board. It seems like she might be ready to go on a different path. Read more. Find out what happened on the last episode of Y&R. Claire is also upset about the fact that Kyle is jealous of Holden Novak, Nathan Owens. So, even though Kyle wants more chances, Claire might be done. Chelsea Lawson's tough position. He will put Chelsea in a tough spot over with Adam. The last time that Adam talked to Victor Newman, Eric Braeden, they discussed the AI software and using Abbott Communications as a test subject. Adam also reassured Victor at the time that Chelsea would not be a problem. However, Chelsea might have a serious problem with this. Although she eventually agreed about the hit piece on Abbott Communications, she could cross the line at this AI scheme. Chelsea will always care about Billy, so this could put her in yet another moral dilemma. Read this, The Young and the Restless spoilers next 3 weeks. Danger for Noah, Sharon and Nick Chaos, Kane's good deed. Next, Y&R comings and goings. Leading Lady in the Flesh, super couple's wedding planned September 15th to 19th. Sally Spectra's stands firm. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, September 16th reveal that Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, will stand her ground with Billy. Billy Flynn's Kane Ashby is prepared to hear Billy's response. While Sally is against this completely, Billy seems ready to make a deal with Kane. Unfortunately, fans know that Kane just plans on letting Billy believe he has control over the software when he actually doesn't. That sounds like a wicked mind game. Watch this, Young and the Restless 2-week spoilers September 15th to 26th. Jack's frantic call and Holden and Claire's risk. Sally will go see Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, and Diane Jenkins Abbott, Susan Walters. When Diane asks if she's all right, Sally honestly says Billy is about to make the biggest mistake of his life. Despite the fact that Jack withdrew the funding, the patriarch might consider a different perspective in light of Sally's alarm. Victoria has also been rekindling her relationship with Sean Dominic's Nate Hastings. Now that Nate has gotten rid of Audra Charles, Zuleika Silva, he seems to be spending a lot more time with Victoria. Could there be a romantic rekindling as well? Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most on Tuesday, September 16th, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Keep watching the soap on CBS or Paramount Plus to find out what happens next. Kyle recognizes threat, Holden and Claire grow closer. The Young and the Restless spoilers document that Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, has been reeling since returning from France. Audra Charles, Zuleika Silva, is in trouble as she continues to demonstrate, and her link to Holden Novak, Nathan Owens, reinforces Kyle's problems. Claire Newman, Hayley Erin, loves Kyle but is in a first-time relationship. That means she doesn't have comparison ability. Holden's revealed interest in Claire confirms Kyle's suspicions. So, viewers are watching to see if she maintains a friendship with Owen's character or is in the process of switching love interests. Claire Newman acts like her grandfather. Claire defaults to her childhood experiences with Jordan Howard, Colleen Zenk, whenever she believes anyone is trying to protect her, as conversations with her grandfather demonstrated. But that was before she realized Victor Newman's, Eric Braeden, opinion shouldn't be rejected because it represented wisdom. Victor's defense of Kyle hasn't become full-throated. It's more nuanced, with Claire's first-ever boyfriend passing Victor's hard test. An equally intriguing development is Claire's continued belief that her childhood experiences mean she doesn't need anyone, be it Kyle, Holden, or whoever, protecting her. That often repeated line in Genoa City, Wisconsin, is one that Claire's mother, Victoria Newman, Amelia Heinley, used throughout her early adult years and still mentions on occasion. Devoted viewers know that Claire is like her grandfather, believing that she only needs help when asking for it. Holden Novak's backstory isn't known. Viewers only know scant details about what happened between him and Audra in Los Angeles, California. That was before both characters were written into GC. Apparently, Audra became involved in a sordid scenario. Holden helped her get out of it. That's the gist of that hidden plot. But if that's all there is, Audra is the bad guy, and Holden was just helping a woman who was important to him. Yet, this is daytime. So, there must be more or a twist. Holden recently told Claire that he can no longer deny his feelings for her. She was surprised to hear him admit that. Plus, she rejected Kyle's awareness of that reality because of her defensive ego mechanism. A preview of the confrontation between Holden and Kyle at Crimson Lights. Holden senses that Kyle is losing his grip on Claire and that she can be taken. She might rationalize that as her choice rather than a reactionary rebound after the fact. Kyle Abbott distracted by personal business. Peter Bergman's Jack Abbott requires his son's total attention. However, Kyle cannot offer it due to his exposed heart. Kyle must resolve the rift with Claire. It feels more likely than not that she'll become involved with Holden, which will deepen Kyle's distraction. So, Jabbo remains at greater risk because Jack and Diane Jenkins Abbott, Susan Walters, are its only protectors. Meanwhile, Kyle is enmeshed in love matters, and his post-summer Newman, Allison Lanny, soulmate, is growing closer to a man he doesn't trust. But she does, and that's probably leading to a deeper hurt for her. Everything related to The Young and the Restless can be found on this website, which is a leading resource. Check back regularly for Y&R spoilers and news. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, September 16, 2025, promise an episode drenched in tension, decisions, and the kind of emotional crossroads that define daytime storytelling. The centerpieces of the hour, Chelsea Lawson's impossible dilemma and Sally Spectra's refusal to back down, are not merely isolated conflicts. They are threads woven into the grander tapestry of power struggles, loyalties, and betrayals that continue to fuel Genoa City. When Chelsea finds herself pushed into a corner by Adam Newman's relentless drive, viewers witness the strain of a woman who has fought her entire adult life to escape being defined by other people's agendas. Chelsea is not the wide-eyed, desperate manipulator of the past, but Adam sees her as a necessary pawn in his latest scheme involving Abbott Communications and Victor's ambitious AI project. She's a woman who has learned, through heartbreak, guilt, and painful redemption, that some lines, once crossed, never fade. Adam's arrogance and profound misinterpretation of her current moral compass are both shown by his assumption that she will follow suit with him. Chelsea will always love Billy Abbott in her own complicated way, and though her choices have not always reflected loyalty, this latest demand forces her to weigh her residual affection against Adam's intoxicating pull. The dilemma is less about whether she sides with Billy or Adam and more about whether she can live with herself if she co-signs a strategy that she knows is fundamentally wrong. In many ways, Chelsea's story on this day is about identity. Does she remain a woman defined by mistakes, or does she finally take the stand she's been building toward for years? On the other side of the canvas, Sally Spectra represents the fiery defiance of someone who has been pushed, underestimated, and dismissed too many times to count. Sally's stance against Billy Abbott is not just about a business disagreement, it's about her need to finally be taken seriously, to have her instincts valued in a world that often brushes her aside as a schemer or hanger-on. Billy is tempted by Kane Ashby's manipulative deal, believing that perhaps it's a way to assert control in a war where Victor and Adam are constantly shifting the rule with her sharp intuition and raw honesty, sees through the facade. Promises of shared control are smoke and mirrors, a trap designed to lure Billy into complacency before the rug is pulled out from under him. The brilliance of Sally's position is that she does not scream, threaten, or beg. Instead, she tells the truth with stark clarity. Billy is about to make the biggest mistake of his life. Her willingness to voice this not only to Billy but also to Jack and Diane demonstrates a rare selflessness. Sally could, after all, protect herself, let Billy tumble, and then find a way to pick up the pieces. Instead, she risks alienating him further in order to save him from himself. This is growth, the kind of character evolution that takes Sally from supporting player to moral compass, and her refusal to back down resonates with viewers who know all too well the cost of ignoring one's instincts. While Chelsea and Sally occupy the spotlight, Kyle Abbott's tangled emotions with Claire Grace Newman and Holden Novak cast a shadow across the Abbott family's future. On September 16th, Kyle's storyline is a study in vulnerability and insecurity. He wants desperately to hold on to Claire, believing that if he can just get her to forgive him, their relationship will survive. But what Kyle doesn't yet understand is that Claire's hesitation is not merely about trust. It's about identity, independence, and the scars of a manipulated childhood. Claire is drawn to Holden because he represents a kind of ease, a freedom from the constant weight of Abbott and Newman expectations. Kyle, despite his love for her, comes with baggage, ex-wives, a demanding family business, and a pattern of jealousy that undermines her confidence in the relationship. Holden, on the other hand, is a surprise. His history with Audra Charles suggests he is no saint, but in Claire's eyes, he's a man who offers attention without judgment. Kyle's jealousy, though rooted in valid concerns, pushes Claire closer to Holden rather than pulling her back. The tragic irony is that Kyle, who once believed he had mastered balance between family loyalty and personal happiness, is now losing both. His distraction over Claire leaves Jabbo increasingly vulnerable, forcing Jack and Diane to carry a burden that should have been shared. The deeper brilliance of this day's storytelling lies in how it mirrors generational patterns. Claire, in resisting Kyle's protective instincts, echoes her mother Victoria Newman's lifelong mantra, "I don't need anyone to protect me." This is not mere coincidence but a deliberate narrative thread that ties past to present, showing how trauma and resilience are inherited like family heirlooms. Victor Newman's nuanced support of Kyle only heightens the conflict, because his opinion, once dismissed by Claire, now carries the weight of wisdom she cannot fully ignore. Claire is torn between the independence she craves and the respect she feels for her grandfather's perspective. That tug-of-war is familiar to long-time viewers who have watched Victoria battle the same push and pull for decades. The show's writers are crafting a cycle where Claire must decide whether she repeats her family's mistakes or finally breaks free of them. The significance of Holden Novak's role in all of this cannot be overstated. He is the dark horse, the character whose backstory remains just vague enough to spark curiosity while threatening stability. Audra's link to him paints him as both savior and enabler, a man capable of both protection and manipulation. He admits that he has feelings for Claire, which forces her to make decisions she is not ready to make. For Holden, this is less about love and more about conquest. At Crimson Lights, his confrontation with Kyle reveals a predator circling wounded prey. He senses Kyle's unraveling, and rather than backing off, he pushes harder, confident that Claire will rationalize her choices as independence rather than a rebound. This manipulation plays into Claire's defensive ego, her insistence that she makes her own choices when in reality, her decisions are often reactive to the people around her. Holden's game is dangerous, not only for Claire's heart but for Jabbo's survival, because Kyle's obsession with Holden's threat leaves the family empire vulnerable to external attacks. As all of this unfolds, the broader Genoa city canvas shifts in subtle but meaningful ways. Victor continues to orchestrate behind the scenes, his focus on AI software and the Newman's dominance signaling a new frontier of battles between technology, ethics, and legacy. Victoria's renewed closeness with Nate Hastings adds a layer of romantic intrigue, suggesting that even as the younger generation battles personal demons, the elder players remain entangled in their own webs of love and ambition. Diane's steady support of Jack as they try to shield Jabbo from collapse provides a sense of grounding, even as their son falters. And Kane Ashby positions himself as the unpredictable disruptor through his manipulative schemes, a man whose ruthless agenda is hidden behind a smiling exterior. The interconnectedness of these stories demonstrates why The Young and the Restless continues to captivate. No decision exists in isolation, no character arc stands alone. When September 16th rolls around, viewers are left with increased stakes rather than a resolution. The possibility of breaking her fragile peace with Adam or rekindling her conflict with Billy. Sally's warning to Billy may save him or drive him further into Kane's trap. Kyle's desperation could either push Claire back into his arms or permanently into Holden's. These storylines reflect the timeless themes of the soap: love versus loyalty, power versus morality, independence versus legacy, but in fresh, character-driven ways that keep audiences glued. The brilliance is in the slow burn. Nothing explodes immediately, but every choice lays a landmine that will detonate in episodes and weeks to come.